Konjiki no Gash Bell level 6 continues with the battle from the previous chapter, with Zatch and/or Gash getting bodied by Reikam and Hosokawa. Now remember, this is Gash and Kiyomaru's first real demon battle, or Momoto battle if you prefer Momoto over demon, but they're definitely not used to this, and it is not going as planned. Zatch is getting bodied, and they realize that Hosokawa, the book owner, does not give a flying fart about his demon child, and uses him as a tool instead of treating him like a friend. Kiyomaru knows that they have to beat this guy. A dirtbag like Hosokawa can't have the power that these demon books contain. He won't do anything good with it. Kiyomaru is begging Gash to harness his strength and fight back. Kind of a Kid Gohan situation here, but Hosokawa's like, nah kid, without the spellbook you're useless. But then, yeah, Gash is not normal. He's got strength for days. Only because he's the main character. He has kind of a OP strength shonen power-up that you're used to seeing, but it's cool. Gash is cool. He flings Hosokawa off him and tells him that he will not forgive him if he keeps mocking him any longer. Now my boy Hosokawa is noticing that Gash's strength is not normal. He's a little flustered, but he's still talking that nonsense. But then, boom! Gash hits him with one of those. Look at that. Look at that body shape. Look at that. That is fierce. That can kill a man. This man looks like, oh my lord, he dropped the book. Look at that. That reminds me of Kid Goku plowing through King Piccolo way back in Dragon Ball. That's exactly what that looked. That is gross. That is disgusting. That's a human man you just hit, Gash. He won't live. Yeah, Hosokawa felt every bit of that. Kiyomaru knows the strength that Gash has. He wanted him to unleash that. He knows what that kid can do. As I mentioned before, Gash Bell as a series is kind of like Pokemon battles, but way more lethal. You have these humans who can use the power these kids possess with the spellbook. But battles can get really interesting because you may have an opponent who chooses to attack the human in the spellbook rather than knock out the kid and then go after the book owner. So different strategies play out depending on the person Gash and Kiyomaru fight, and you'll see a lot more intricate Hunter x Hunter style strategies as the series goes on. After straight bodying Hosokawa, Gash retrieves the book, and Kiyomaru and Gash are back in business. Now little Gash is ready to go in. He's had enough of Hosokawa, his nonsense, all that craziness he's talking about using little kids as tools. He's a weirdo, and they gotta take him out. Kiyomaru and Gash are both ready. Hosokawa's fed up too. He snatches his book from his kid and prepares to attack. Now Kiyomaru's arm was encased in ice in the last chapter when Hosokawa tried to use Kiyomaru's spellbook on him. But as we know, the books choose their owner and multiple people can't use the same book. He wanted to take control of Gash and his book while also having his little child and his book, so he had a good plan, but unfortunately for Hosokawa, one owner per book. Now Kiyomaru needs to blast this ice off of his arm, but the spell may be a bit too powerful. But then again, they are controlled by emotions, so he needs to control and contain his emotions to a level where he can use the Zakeru spell and only blow the ice off. As we learned before, the spells are powered by the emotional state of the book owner. So if you're angry, sad, frustrated, or whatever emotion you're going through, it powers the book. But Hosokawa is already on the offensive and he may not have enough time. He unleashes his Gikoru spell and it flies toward Gash and Kiyomaru. The attack looks like it made contact, and Hosokawa is waiting for the fog to clear. Thinking he won, he lets his guard down, and then a Zakeru spell from out of nowhere. But as you can see, this dude is a jerk. He throws little Reikam in front of the attack and shouts a spell, but it doesn't negate the entire thing, and Reikam takes a huge blow. Kiyomaru and Gash emerge from the fog, pissed off that he uses his kid as a shield. They should know this by now. The guy clearly does not care. They have to beat him. Kiyomaru decides to confront the little kid instead of screaming at Hosokawa, who he knows won't listen. He asks the kid why he isn't angry that he's teamed up with a jerk like this and why he doesn't just leave. This is where we realize that the book owners reflect the personality of the kids as well. You see, little Reikam is happy. He really doesn't mind that he's treated this way by Hosokawa. In fact, he states here that the worse Hosokawa treats him, the more powerful he becomes. So yeah, these kids are just as messed up and cruel as the book owner. So you never know. Gash and Kiyomaru are just a good fit. Reikam and his partner Hosokawa see eye to eye, no matter what the opponents might think. And that's where they get their power. They're ready to finish him off, so Gash and Kiyomaru better step it up. Realizing that they can't save the kid, Gash decides to finish this once and for all. But Kiyomaru is starting to doubt. Once again, this is their first battle. Hosokawa and Reikam have probably been through many more and fought other demon kids. So Kiyomaru has a lot to learn. The battle rages on. Gash and Kiyomaru go on the offensive, but so do Hosokawa and Reikam. Their spells clash, setting off an explosion. Kiyomaru sees this as a prime opportunity to run away. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Survival of the fittest. He straight up pulled a Joseph Joestar and tried to dip.
Run as fast as I can! Make way! Move! Out of the way! This guy's insane!
Now he's not running because he wants to. He realizes that it's the best chance they have to survive. But then Hosokawa uses his second spell again to immobilize Kiyomaru. He used it once before in the previous chapter to freeze his arm to the ground. Kiyomaru is down and out. He realizes that they are on completely different levels and they cannot beat this guy. Hosokawa thinks it's checkmate and fires the Gikoru one final time. Kiyomaru stands up, remembering that he had an ace in the hole. Now Kiyomaru is a light Yagami type character who doesn't rely on luck and chance, and him using this, not knowing whether it's good or bad, really shows how desperate he is. But he unleashes it anyway, considering it the final chance to beat this dude. The second spell, Rashirudo. It's a big shield, it's pretty neat. Rashirudo successfully stops the spell, but not only that, it electrifies whatever hits it and then sends it back twofold. It's kind of OP, but you know, whatever. Hosokawa and Reikam get lit up with their spell with an electric bonus. Again, this art is really cool, the over-exaggerated screams and faces. I love the art style of Gash Bell. Hosokawa knows it's over. Look at his face. God, he looks like Ocarina of Time Ganon. That's what it is. Just came to me. Anyways, Kiyomaru now knows what the second spell does and will hopefully use it more often and not forget about it. I brought this up once before, but that weird effect you see on Gash's eyes, it's a pretty important thing you'll figure out later on. No spoilies. Gash's eyes come back into focus and he sees both of the opponents laid out. He's extremely happy and dives at Kiyomaru, but Kiyo knows how strong this guy's headbutts are, so he does a cool little block there. Now down here is something I really like because, well, not Kiyomaru waddling toward his enemy, but the fact that Kiyo doesn't want to kill his opponents. He knows that Zatch's power is ridiculously strong. It's lightning, for Christ's sake. So he checks on his enemies, and even in the previous chapter, we saw him checking on the bank robbers to make sure he hadn't killed them. And as we see here, he checks on the other demon child to make sure he's okay. Again, this series is not all about death and sadness and how much of an impact death can make on the characters or whatever. No, it's a tournament style series. You got a group of kids who come to this place and battle it out. Reasons why, you'll find out later. Kiyomaru's ready to take this kid to the hospital, get him checked up and all that. But then, little Reikam looks over. He notices that his book is on fire. He dives over to it, starts trying to put the fire out. Kiyomaru's worried that he's gonna burn himself, but the book doesn't go out. But then, on the final page of this chapter, we see something rather creepy. Little Reikam is starting to disappear without any explanation. Kiyomaru, who wanted to help the kid, can only stare and watch in fright. More questions will be answered from here on out. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Sorry for the delay on these chapter reviews. I've got a lot happening and a lot coming up in the future between Smash Bros gameplay and Let's Plays I'm trying to get started, so stay with me. And definitely check out the Konjiki no Gash Bell manga yourself. It's really worth checking out. My personal favorite manga of all time. If you like my channel and want more content, go ahead and subscribe. Love Smash Bros? Click here. Need to check out previous chapter reviews? Click here.